In the criminal justice system, Trump's offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the corrupt detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Trump's Victims Unit. These are their stories. Dum-dum! Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kyle Dockery with the Dockery Docket. We are here with another fantastic episode of the Dockery Docket. I'm excited to be here, and I hope that you are excited to be here as well. And if you are excited to be here as well, make sure to go down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so then you never miss one of my videos. So before we dive any deeper into this episode, I want to let you know that this is part 2 of a 2-part series. The first episode sort of talks about the Trump case, and in this episode, we are going to dive deeper into the corruption that may be in the Trump case. So if you haven't already seen episode number 1, make sure to go watch that one and come back. But if you already have watched the first episode, then stick around and enjoy. Now for this case, we know that there is corruption just by looking at the judge and his actions, as it was recently reported that the daughter of the judge, named Lauren Merchan, was the president and partner of Authentic Campaigns. This company was known for working with Vice President Kamala Harris in the 2020 presidential campaign, along with working for Adam Schiff's Super PAC. Along with that, the judge's daughter was also listed as the director of digital persuasion for, once again, the Kamala Harris for the People campaign. Do you think that the judge could have a bias against Trump if his daughter is working with the opposing campaign? I really think he can. And whenever Donald Trump mentions this or talks about his daughter and how the judge needs to recuse himself, the judge hits him with a gag order. Along with that, the judge isn't letting Trump get any time off for this trial, as the judge has made it clear that he wants Trump to be at the trial every single day, as there are 2 important days that Trump wanted to get off. The first was oral arguments that were being made to the Supreme Court when it comes to presidential immunity, which means that a president can't be charged for something that they have done for work as president. So Obama can't be charged with drone strikes that killed people because it was a part of his job. And now Trump has been very vocal about this, and he wants to be there so then he can maybe testify and help his lawyers persuade the Supreme Court into voting in his favor. However, the judge said no, as in a statement he said, "Arguing before the Supreme Court is a big deal, and I can certainly appreciate why your client would want to be there. But a trial in New York Supreme Court is also a big deal," as the judge ended it by saying, "I will see him next week." So now we have a dilemma here. The Supreme Court is a lot more important than some state judge. And now if Trump were to say, "Hey, screw you, New York, I'm going to the Supreme Court," then Trump would be arrested in New York, as the judge made it clear that if Trump doesn't show up, he will be thrown in jail for 30 days. Now the question is, will this help Trump or hurt Trump if he gets arrested? Personally, I don't think Trump will miss because he doesn't want to go to jail. No one wants to go to jail. And this shows once again that this is election interference from this judge. If Trump has to be at court every single day, that means he can't go out and campaign, which gives Joe Biden an advantage in this election. So the judge won't let Trump go to a political thing, but he also won't let Trump go to a family event as well, as the case is going to last months, probably all the way up to November. But a lot of things can happen in that time period that are personal. One of those things are graduations, as this year Barron Trump is graduating, and the judge has denied Trump to take a personal day for the graduation. And here is how Donald Trump responded to that.
Very much. We had some amazing things happen today. As you know, my son is graduating from high school, and it looks like the judge will not let me go to the graduation of my son, who's worked very, very hard. He's a great student. He's very proud of the fact that he did so well, and was looking forward for years to have graduation with his mother and father there. And it looks like the judge isn't going to allow me to escape this scam. It's a scam trial.
So the judge won't let Trump have a personal day off, but hopefully this means that this trial will go quick so Trump can get right back out there and campaign. However, there is one more thing that could lead to Trump's demise, and that is the jury. Now, picking an impartial jury for a trial like this would be impossible. Everyone has their own opinion on Donald Trump, and there is no one in the world, especially in New York, that haven't heard about Donald Trump or this trial. Now, this could hurt Trump because with this trial, it has to be a unanimous decision that Trump is guilty or innocent. If one juror doesn't agree, then they all have to talk about it over again until they agree on a verdict. There is a possibility that there is one person that is saying, no, Trump isn't guilty, while the other 11 are saying, he is guilty, why can't you just say that he is guilty so then we can go home? And then that juror could flip at that moment, leading to Trump to be thrown in jail. Now, why am I not saying that the opposite can happen? Well, because this trial is taking place in a very blue city of New York. It's in Manhattan. It would be very hard to find a Republican, let alone an independent, in that city. Now, of course, the state of New York tries to make sure that they weed out anyone that has any political bias against Trump or for Trump, as there was a very interesting Instagram post that explained the process of picking a jury. Every juror must be from the Manhattan area, and they are selected at random from a list. Then the jurors must go through voir dire, which is the process in which both attorneys and judges asked potential jurors questions. This ensures an unbiased jury via test of competency and prior case knowledge. The test is composed of questions suggested by Trump's lawyers team and also the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. The judge can eliminate any juror if they find that they are biased or for any other reason that they want. And using the questions and other things, make it whittle down a whole bunch of people to only 12 jurors. Some of the questions that the judge or defense may ask are, do you have any political, moral, intellectual, or religious beliefs or opinions that might prevent you from following the court's instructions on the law or which might slant your approach to the case? Another question might be, do you currently follow Donald Trump on any social media sites, or have you done so in the past? Another one might say, do you currently follow any anti-Trump groups or organizations on any social media site, or have you done so in the past? Now, I don't know if it was the questions that were being asked to the jurors or if the potential jurors found out it was a Trump trial, but people started dropping like flies. Over half of the potential jurors were removed on day one for an inability to be impartial. One juror was excused after they claimed an unconscious bias due to Republican relatives. Another person said they couldn't do it and just left the courtroom. Others had vacations or other obligations, but you can see that people don't want to be on this jury. Which makes me nervous that the jury will have a bias against Donald Trump because we have seen jurors get accepted and then kicked off the jury for not being unbiased when it comes to Donald Trump. As the second juror that was sworn in was removed because in the past he was arrested for vandalizing right-wing flyers. Here's Fox News explaining that.
This has to do with something that very well could have been the fact that this juror may have been arrested back in the 1990s conducting some type of political vandalism against something, posters on the right, and it was not revealed or he did not remember it and did not include it, and that is why that juror has been dismissed.
Then there was one juror that was dismissed due to scheduling conflict and claimed under oath that she was not biased against Donald Trump. But when she was removed, she had this to say about the former president. Take a look at this.
Can you share your opinion of the former president and why you felt that you could be unbiased?
I'm not a fan. During COVID-19, I lived with someone who was immunocompromised, and I think his handling of COVID-19 was abysmal. I have a sister who is adopted from China, and the comments he made about China when he was running for president made her very anxious, and therefore made me angry. There are policies he has supported that regard women and reproductive health that I do not agree with.
Then we had this juror that I'm not sure if she was biased or not. I just thought it was stupid, but she commented on Trump's looks, claiming that he looked less orange and more yellow. Just take a look at this.
United States, so that means you've never voted in a presidential election.
Exactly.
You get called to be a juror, and this is the jury that you are called to.
Yes.
What was that? Is unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
I know.
What was your impression of Donald Trump when you saw him?
He looked less orange, definitely, like more yellowish, like yellow. Nothing else than that. He doesn't look angry, or I think he looks bored, like he wants this to finish.
My concern with all of this is that this court is going to turn into a total circus, where the judge can't figure out who can be on the jury, so he is constantly getting rid of a juror, and then finding someone else, and then getting rid of a juror, and then finding someone else. And the cycle just continues over and over and over again until November, when magically the trial just ends. And as of right now, they have all 12 jurors, but you never know what can happen in a month or 2 weeks or any time. We can also see that outside things are becoming a little bit crazy, as a radical left-leaning man decided to light himself on fire on the very first day of Trump's trial. Apparently he believed that Trump and Biden were working together to form some fascist coup. I don't know. Setting yourself on fire is one of the worst ways to commit suicide ever. So I advise you not to do that. I believe that this case is going to get crazier and crazier as it goes on. And I am honestly hoping for a not guilty verdict, but you never know what can happen. Donald Trump can run for president in jail. It's happened before, and it can happen again. And I do think that if he is thrown in prison, then he will be a martyr and more people will actually vote for him. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And when stuff does happen, I'll be here to talk about it. And with that, I just want to thank you so much for watching this episode of the Dockery Docket. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.